Part 2. Legal justification or justification of justice. Ethiopia's Economic Crimes Proclamation and the masking of the state atrocities. I am Abebe, a servant of truth, justice and peace, working through Ethiopian Hearts for Peace and African Hearts for Peace to reveal the root of systematic violence and the misuse of law to entrench impunity in Ethiopia. This work does not stand alone. It is a partnership powered by a conviction that justice is not an abstract idea, but a lived reality that demands truth, memory, and moral reckoning. 1. The June 2025 Economic Crimes Proclamation is the Ethiopian government passage of the Economic Crimes Proclamation on this date sparked national and international alarm. This law permits state actors to detain, investigate, and confiscate property from suspects of terrorism, money laundering, and corruption with almost unchecked authority. The only safeguard: it prohibits extrajudicial killing, but as well demonstrates this is not a sign of ethical restraint. It is a cynical effort to legitimize harm while preserving plausible deniability before the international community. The proclamation empowers law enforcement and security agencies to use necessary force in property seizure, act without court-issued warrants, conduct surveillance using AI systems, bypass traditional judicial oversight mechanisms. 2. Here is the moral paradox of necessary force. What does necessary force mean in the Ethiopian context? It means the potential for beatings, bodily harm, or psychological trauma inflicted during raids or seizure. When these actions are not ordered by complete court, and when agents operate without accountability, even one broken rib becomes a symbol of impunity. Justice must be restorative. If a person loses an eye, suffers permanent disability, or watches their child be traumatized by violent home invasion, no compensation can restore the original dignity of life. Justice is not about calculating restitution. It is about preventing harm in the first place. Third, the broader political context, a legacy of corruption and continuity. This law did not emerge in a vacuum. Since the rise of the TPLF to power in 1991, Ethiopia has experienced systematic elite-driven corruption. Overnight, party loyalties become millionaires. Buildings, vehicles, land, and access to public resources were hoarded by those in power. This pattern continued uninterrupted through the transition of power 2018. Despite rhetoric of reform, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's government has failed to address these root causes. Instead, it has accelerated them. Today, leaders are not revolutionaries. They are inheritors of a poisoned legacy, often monitored by the very elites who corrupted Ethiopian political and economic landscape. 4. Law as a mask for atrocity. Let us now turn to what the state has done in the name of law enforcement, and how this new law threatens to give those actions a permanent legal shield. 1. Amhara region. Thousands of civilians have been killed, displaced, and detained without trial in the name of fighting. Illegal armed groups, state drones have bombed villages, schools, homes have been burned, and youth have disappeared. With the new law, these atrocities are reframed as economic stabilization effort. 2. Oromia, Walaga, Benishangul Gumuz, and Gambella, etc. What was called anti-extremism enforcement become an excuse for mass arrests and summary killings. Entire communities were profiled ethnically and punished collectively. These actions were carried out with impunity and will now be post-rationalized under new economic sanctuary laws. 3. Addis Ababa and the Corridor Development Plan. Under urban renewal pretexts, tens of thousands of homes were destroyed with no legal appeal. Families were left in the streets, and in one tragic case, a child was snatched by a hyena as the mother tried to save her other children. This is not urban development. It is bureaucratic cruelty disguised as progress. 5. Weaponizing AI and surveillance. Another alarming trend is the increased use of AI-powered surveillance and weapons to track individuals suspected of crimes. These systems are already being used to profile ethnic groups, monitor speech in social media, and predict dissent. Without ethical oversight, such technology becomes a digital extension of tyranny. The Economic Crimes Proclamation indirectly supports this trend. It enables data-driven profiling without requiring a judicial process, endangering privacy, freedom of expression, and due process. 6. Legal framework versus international norms. The new law contradicts several international human rights commitments. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 3, 5, 9, 17, and the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, Articles 7, 9, 14, and 17. The African Charter on Human and People's Rights, Article 4, 5, 6, 7, and 14. Each of these documents guarantees protection from arbitrary arrest, torture, unlawful seizure of property, and violation of dignity. The Economic Crimes Proclamation undermines all these protections. 7. Future proclamations, a legal firewall for impunity. This law is only the beginning. If successful, it will be followed by proclamations on urban extremism, anti-gang operations, and ethnic hate speech. Each will be designed to create more legal cover for authoritarian control. We are witnessing a shift from extrajudicial violence to intrajudicial violence, where the law itself becomes a weapon. It is not law enforcement. It is law abuse. 8. The need for accountability before reclamation. No peace process can work without first acknowledging the truth. Legal proclamations cannot erase the trauma of families displaced, the memory of bombed villages, or the scars of prisoned youth. True reconciliation requires a public accounting of atrocities, independent investigations, compensation for victims, institutional reforms, and legal repeal of abusive proclamations. 9. Justice is not justification. This law is not a tool of justice. It is a justification of justice. It attempts to rewrite history by embedding atrocities into policy. But truth cannot be buried in legislation. The wounds of Ethiopian people will not be healed by more laws. They will be healed by moral leadership and institutional humility and a national reckoning with the past. We, the people, remember, we, the people, demand better, and we, the people, will hold those in power accountable. Truth first, justice second, peace will follow. Our full expanded analysis is now captured in the document, and it includes your message of truth. Here we go, we have delivered it. And thank you very much. Part 3, Moral Alternatives, Public Resistance, a Vision for Post-Crisis Ethiopia will come. Thank you. I'm sorry. I have a persistent cough these days. Apologies.